Thanks for tuning in. If this is the first of the interviews with Shamiel Gary, former NFL athlete, if you're watching, the link to the full-length interview is mentioned in the comments below. In this segment, we discuss the mindset that it takes to make a transition. Take a look. And so that leads me to ask you about, because you've gone through a career transition. You have joined the elite, right?
Mm-hmm.
You competed at the highest level in the greatest team sport that there is,
right?
In the NFL, and then transition out of being a professional athlete into launching a couple of different business ventures. Mm-hmm. And I'd love to hear you talk about that transition, because when you said mental reps, that got me thinking about that, because I think, especially right now here in 2021, we've just gone through, we're not even through the pandemic. And from a employment standpoint, so many people have been out of work. Mm-hmm. They're going through a transition. They will go through a career transition.
Right.
You've gone through that journey. Talk to us a little bit about the mental reps that it takes to shift from being highly focused on one thing and doing it impeccably, and now taking that sharp turn and opening up a whole new door.
Right. No, 100%. And the thing is, with transition, if you actually think about it, we're always kind of transitioning in whatever we're doing, whether it be if you have kids. Maybe you wake up every day and you do the same thing, but you're still kind of transition. You just don't realize you're transitioning, because my daughter went from 3 to 7, but I naturally transitioned from her being that kid that didn't ask too many questions. She jumped around. Now she's giving me a little sass, and now I'm transitioning to like learning how to deal with that right there. And I think, just going back to the reps thing with the Storms is, once you win that battle of the transition with your daughter, or the mental battle with that Storm, and where you really learn how to dance, now you can put those in your success box. And so whenever you go through a time where it's like, oh shoot, like chaos, what can I do? What do I need to do next? Like, do I have a plan? You need to take a deep breath, slow down, and go back to your success box. And your success box is all the things that you have been through, your adverse moments where you didn't think you were come out of it, and you did, the championships, all that right there. And you realize, like, oh shoot, I've been through a situation like this. It may not be the exact same, but I've been through something very similar. And so once you realize that, now you can start connecting the dots and be like, okay, I came through it like that right there. I didn't do it just like that, but I could do it like this. And so now you have a little game plan to get you to the next step. And so that's kind of what helped me with my transition, was I had to think back, okay, when I got cut from the New England Patriots, I went to the Bears, and what was that transition like for me? Yeah. And even though my focus wasn't on like not playing football ever again at that point, but it was still a transition from, being in one team to another team. And so I had to connect the dots and be like, okay, I did it like this. How can I do it? How can I use those same things that I did at that moment in this situation? And so I built the game plan from there. And I ask questions. And so that's kind of I wrote an article on something similar to that right there. But I believe if you don't know where you exactly want to go, ask questions. Ask a ton of questions. One of my good teammates, Devin McCourty, he will tell you, I asked him so many questions. Like every single day, I had him go into the film room with me and, hey man, what can I do to get better right here? What do you see right here? I asked him like countless questions. And so, one, look back at a situation that you have been through that's something similar. 2, ask questions. And then 3, don't be afraid to dig deep within and pivot and do something different. Even though it may be unknown, that may be the best thing you could have ever done, And so that's my suggestion right there is, 1, you've been through something similar. There's nothing new under the sun. 2, ask questions. And then 3, don't be afraid to do something different, and don't get stuck in this box of like, okay, I've been doing this job for 20 years. What's your passion? What do you love? What rejuvenates you? What makes you happy? And don't be afraid to start over and do something new.
I love the way you talk about connecting those dots, and looking at what is it that I have within me that I've already been through a challenge like this before. It just wasn't, it wasn't all the same people, it wasn't the same scenery. So how do I translate that? I think that is a real skill that sometimes it's hard for us to do that because we are such creatures of habit, right? We get into doing things a certain way. So like the way you talk about connecting dots.